Okay, NAL week number 2 power rankings. We've seen 2 play days, and I think we've seen enough to get an idea of what's going on. Of course, there are still a lot of games to be played, but I think we can still rank things a little bit differently than we did in the first week, so enough so to make it interesting to do it again. Maybe I'll do this every week unless there's just like no noticeable shift in the power rankings. But you know, generally there should be some amount of shifts after 2 play days because we have 2 per week, except for that last week, which just has the 1. And okay, so we are going to be doing the 5-tier thing again. So some teams might be slightly interchangeable, but I'm going to try to do it pretty well in order again. Okay, so starting at the bottom, yeah, Mirage was at the bottom before, and I think they remain at the bottom. They're one of the 3 winless teams along with Sonics and XSET, but I think XSET has looked a little bit better than Mirage and Sonics. Unfortunately, they are currently, I mean, technically they're at the very bottom because they have 0 points and they have the worst round differential, but I can't put them anywhere near here. I really think they're going to bounce back because they have proven to be a very strong team in the past, and probably this first week of poor performance will just be a bit of a fluke. So compared to XSET and Mirage, teams that are also on 0 points but are completely unproven, yeah, they're going to definitely be higher in the power rankings. We'll get to them in a little bit. And I guess I'll just put XSET here. Definitely a team with a lot of potential, and I don't remember what I had them on exactly before, like 7th or 8th, I want to say. And I mean, until they can get a win, they're going to be down here. They did play against Space Station and TSM, 2 of the best teams, and entirely possibly could be the best 2 teams by the end of the season. We'll have to see. TSM already took a loss versus Oxygen, who look really good, and Space Station also beat down on Mirage, so we have to take into account points and then also who played whom and how well everyone played in their matchups and whatever. So XSET still a lot to prove, but I mean, they could very well just be a lot better than all of the bottom tier, bottom tier teams, keep talking about it, but the sort of lower echelon teams here. So when they play Mirage, Beast Coast, Astralis, whatever, maybe they'll be really good against them, but they have not fared very well against these top tier teams. So I'm going to put them down here for now. They definitely have potential to go up, and I suppose Mirage does as well. They also had 2 pretty tough teams to go up against, and they have 2 tough teams to go up against next week as well. So I foresee them staying here at the bottom, but if they do really well against one of them, maybe that'll be enough to boost them up a few places depending on what everyone else is doing. And previously, I want to say it was Parabellum. I had it in 9th place here, and this part is really tough because now we get out of the range of 0 points, except for Sonics, who I'm still not going to put this low. So every other team, again, other than Sonics, has some number of points and have at least 1 win, I suppose. And everyone has at least 3 points. So there's a bit of a gap here. And so who do I put here? I mean, let's talk about the other lower echelon teams once again. Astralis, a really solid win over Sonics, but Sonics just seem to have slumped in this first week. So I'm not going to give a ton of credence, but also the loss that Astralis took was to Oxygen. So if they had lost to, I don't know, maybe any other team besides like them and Space Station, I might be evaluating it a little bit differently, but maybe Oxygen is just that good, and then Astralis is still pretty good, and then the Sonics thing was a fluke. Like, there's a million different things. And I think because Sonics also did pretty poorly in their other match, I can't give that much credence to the Astralis victory, even though it is impressive. Iconic did absolutely pop off. I think I'm going to put him here for now, and maybe as we continue, I'll adjust it, but I'm going to put him here. And the other one is Parabellum, and I don't know, do you guys think this is backwards? So Parabellum took a loss to Beast Coast, but it did go to max regulation, and they did kind of choke that last round. They had a 5v2, and they got 2v5'd, unfortunately. And their win is against Sonics, and Astralis' win is also against Sonics. I suppose Astralis' victory was a better one. It was a 7-1 versus Parabellum's, I want to say 7-3. Parabellum got to play on their best map, and but which is also, I guess, probably Sonics' best map. So it's really hard to call, and I suppose because Parabellum's other game was closer, but against a lower caliber team. So again, these guys lost to Beast Coast 7-5, and Astralis lost to Oxygen, I think 7-3. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do it like this because again, Oxygen looks incredible, and that is the loss that Astralis took, and they beat Sonics better than Parabellum did. So I'll put it like this for now, but they are pretty similar, so I'm perfectly happy having them in the same tier here. And okay, maybe I won't have 2 in every tier. We'll see as we progress. And okay, so I'm going to put Beast Coast here. I still don't feel comfortable putting them above Sonics just yet, even though, I mean, obviously they've had a way better week 1 performance. Beast Coast has 4 points, putting them in the, 4th place position? I think it's Space Station, then Oxygen, and then Dark Zero, and then Beast Coast. And if Beast Coast had won round 15 of their game, they would be above Dark Zero even. So managed to take Dark Zero all the way and got a close win against Parabellum. Again, it took 12 rounds, and they did have to clutch that last round, so it's entirely possible they would have lost in overtime. And, well, certainly they would have fewer points if they'd gone to overtime regardless. But, yeah, I mean, at the moment, and this is pretty loose, but for now, it looks like they are the best of these bottom 5 teams. So I'm going to put them here. And I guess I'll just put 2 teams per tier. And this, I mean, this looks a bit weird now. And, well, all the colors are like bunched together, right? So the 2 blue guys and then 3 red guys are here. I'll put Sonics here for now. Yeah, they probably don't belong in the same tier as Beast Coast, but you have to take into account the recent performance way more than you have to take into account past performance. So Beast Coast has proven that they can get some wins, and Sonics has not yet proven that they have gotten over whatever their slump is. So I imagine Sonics will bounce back, but for now, I'm just going to put them here. And indeed, it is in the same tier, but you know, it's ordered. So I'm still going to put Sonics above Beast Coast. They're still going to stay in that top 5, but if they take another really bad loss, then they're probably going to fall out of that top 5 pretty easily. They'll get passed up by some of these teams, assuming some of these teams win. I don't remember who Sonics' next opponent is, and that might be quite important. And then also their opponent after that, because I won't be doing the next power rankings at least until the next 2 games have passed. So we'll see how it goes for them there. And then, okay, so TSM and Dark Zero are the next 2, but what order am I putting them in? So this is how the standings are. Dark Zero is above TSM. TSM lost to Oxygen, and Dark Zero hasn't lost, but they did get taken to round 15 by Beast Coast, and they only beat Mirage. So, and then TSM's other opponent was Xset. So I guess, beating Xset, beating Mirage, and then beat Beast Coast. I think, there's the whole world champion thing and whatever. Dark Zero did beat TSM at the Invitational in the only NA versus NA matchup. And Dark Zero's higher on the rankings here. They don't have a loss. This is pretty close. If TSM had lost to one of these teams, it'd be easy to say Dark Zero over TSM. But I think I am still going to go with Dark Zero over TSM for now. But they're very close. This is probably interchangeable. And then so that leaves Space Station and Oxygen. And what order do I want them here? So Space Station is at the top of the leaderboard. They have the same number of points as Oxygen, but they have a better round differential than them. So technically they are above them. They haven't played each other, so there's no head-to-head. There's no head-to-head to go off of just yet. Space Station's wins did come against these 2 teams. So, I mean, I guess Space Station did kind of put them down here. Maybe these guys could have won versus some other teams. And so, right, Space Station did put them down here. But also, they did play lower caliber teams. Oxygen beat TSM, so that's a big victory. And then they also beat Astralis, who looked, incredible against the Sonics. So, I guess I got to put Oxygen above them. Oxygen certainly has looked to have had tougher matches, and they didn't really look like they especially broke a sweat in those matches. Space Station didn't either, but once again, pretty easy opponents. And they did get to play these 2 new teams when they are still really new teams. That was Xset's first official match as a team together. That was Mirage's second official match as a team together. And, well, TSM has been together for a while, and so has Astralis. I suppose Astralis did just get 1 new player, but Xset's a whole new team. Mirage is 3 new players, so basically it's a new team. But Oxygen is just destroying teams that are pretty much the same, and again, just slightly changed with Astralis, and maybe more than slightly, because they did also get a coach change, but, still, they still have a 4-man core remaining together. Is nothing unsubstantial. And, okay, so I guess this is going to be the power rankings for week number 2. So, from the top to bottom, we have Oxygen, Space Station, Dark Zero, TSM, Sonics, Beast Coast, Astralis, Parabellum, Xset, and Mirage. And this looks, I think, fairly similar to the week 1 power rankings, barring a few things. Sonics I had them at number 1, and they've fallen down to number 5. TSM, Space Station, Dark Zero, they were all around. I guess Dark Zero has gone from 5 to 3. And Beast Coast was right here. Astralis, Parabellum, Xset. I think these were in a slightly different order. I still had Mirage at the bottom. So I guess some teams have moved like 1 or 2 places, and then Sonics have moved down significantly. I think that, yeah. And then Oxygen went up, I suppose, 3. Yeah, so a few somewhat significant changes, but no one went from like the top to the bottom. And well, if Sonics does continue, they will quickly plummet to the bottom. If somehow all of these teams win or something, or at least Mirage and Xset get a win, and Sonics still gets crushed in their 2 games, they might be at the bottom. But we'll assess that when we get there. And so I guess probably nothing else important to say here, and so we're going to call it there. With all that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video.